Welcome. My name is Mr. Craig, and this is part 2 of Optical Art. In this video, you will learn how to make 3 different drawings that fall within the realm of optical art, or op art if you prefer. For this particular one, we're going to introduce the circle template or tracer for your circle. So an easier way to do this would be to just kind of trace your ruler up and down until you see what looks to be the greatest distance. 7 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Okay? So that means we're going to do 3.5. So then we use the sides of the paper to make sure that we get a straight line. So you line the lines of the ruler up with the sides of your paper. Draw a line through. Do the same thing on this side. And then use that center piece. Now, at this juncture, you need to start with a piece of the pie, okay? So, you line your ruler up, you decide where you want to start, and you line your ruler up, and you draw a line. Now, this I just eyeballed, okay? This distance. You could do skinnier, you could do slightly bigger, but this is about the width that you're looking for. Then you take your ruler, you go to the other point, you do about the same measurement, okay, and then you slowly just really try, you can measure to make sure that they're exact, like some people in the past, some of my past students have measured so that they're all even, or you can eyeball it. I've got to move to the next side, but in order to create the star, I have to go in the opposite direction. So I'm still like using the same, trying to eyeball the same amount of distance so that they don't look, it doesn't look odd. In order to make sure that you do the star correctly, be sure to pay attention to what you did prior. So that might mean that you want to just jump ahead here and do a little, just to make sure that you don't mess up. Try very hard to keep them skinny. I know that your patience might be wearing thin when you get to this point, but trust me, the skinnier they are, the more visually exciting or scintillating the drawing will be. Okay, so as you can see, we are at the end. 8-point star, optical art piece. This is yet another example from a student last year. The more color you have, aesthetically pleasing it's likely to be. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I kind of jumped the gun here a little just to map out this next piece. Optical art, again, another optical art drawing, but this would remind you more of like a stained glass window or something of that sort. So what you're doing is you're breaking down your square paper or your square piece of paper. So what I did here was I established a border 1/2 inch in on all sides. Use your ruler 1/2 inch. It doesn't matter where it is on the ruler. 1/2 inch is 1/2 inch. Okay? Use, as you can see, I have markers all around. Even me, old man of the sea, Mr. Craig, even I use markers. Do not freehand it. You will get it wrong. It will look awful or off. This line, once you have your square within your square, this line, this center line is 5.5 inches in. So I line my ruler up 5.5 inches. Okay? Take a dot on both sides and connect the dots. Okay? These lines are 3 inches in from the inside square. Okay? So again, it's just, you line it up 3 inches, bam, 3 inches, mark it. Okay? Now, for the final line, we have this space is 5 inches in width, so we want to do 2.5. So I marked off 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. I line it up. And then I draw the line. Okay, and then your piece should now look like this. You can start off wherever you want, or you can also vary it, but I'm just gonna wing it right now. It's the same process, but I just want to see how this one comes out. Okay, so, but this time, slowly getting smaller and smaller. Again, I would suggest that once you get started with a specific rectangle, that you stay the course all the way until the end. The space will disappear. And then there you have the first point. It all depends upon what you want to do. Like, as you see, the line here is going out. So if you want to like mirror that, then you could do one this direction. Or you could just go down. It's really entirely up to you. You know, I could flip it completely. So, as you can see, it takes on these like strange looking amorphous shapes. Okay. And then I could do this. Okay, now this will make this even more interesting. It'll make the shapes even more varied, and you will have this spiral located in the center of your piece. And then now I have my diamond, which I could then do the star shape. This is not required. You can now see the finished result here, done by the student last year. This is absolutely beautiful. Not only did she use multiple colors, but she also did a fantastic job with shading, which really, really brings out the piece. Okay guys, so this is the final drawing in this set of 3 for the part 2 of optical art, of the optical art drawings. I went ahead and did the X and the diamond. For those of you that don't recall, it's 6 inches in. Okay, you're going to look and you're going to see that All right, so this is 8.5 inches. So this falls at 4 1/4. Okay, so what are we gonna do here? Like, how can I get, even dots? So what I do is I realize that there's gonna be 4 inches here. And then I can use these 16ths to, I just add a 16th to each inch. So I go 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 3, 1, and then 4, 1. And you do that all the way around. Now you can do it the way I did it, which is 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and then that would be 4, 4. So then you move the ruler 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. The next step is you need to take these dots to the corners of your paper. You have it all the way around. Now you need to do it inside. So you go to the center point. I'm going to line. Okay, so the square lines up with the axis. Okay, so it's the center coming out. That's how you do the square. This is what you want to do for each one. So you see that this is 4 1/4. So we want to start here and we want to go 1 1/8. Then we move it down to 1. Then we move it down to 7/8. Then we move it down to 6/8. And then that's it. And then you use those dots to then continue. These measurements help you to continue the squares. There you go. And then you can drop it down. So there you have it. And then you can correct it as... Okay, now the last little bit you got to do is, again, these are eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we go out 5/8, make a dot. And you go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8, make a dot. And you go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/8 and make a dot, and that's it. And then you take them to the corners of your square. So this would be your finished drawing, the last of 6. And again, this would be your typical, every other you would shade a different color. Okay? So if this is red, this would be green. This would be red, green, red, etc.